Hello and welcome back to Stoneblock 3. Yeah, Stoneblock 3. We're here, and I'm going to do a thing that I kind of figured out. Okay, let me back up for a second, okay? Last episode, we got our transmutation table. And the biggest issue right now is not the EMC, it's the items we have available to us in the, in the table itself. So what I'm trying to do is import everything that I have that I can into the transmutation table, so I have access to all of the same materials using EMC, if that's an option. Everything else I want to have in the system, and only the things that do not have an EMC value should be in here. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, and I was trying to figure out how to do that, and I thought about it for a second, aka I looked it up online, and this is kind of the option, because I tried to hook an item, like one of the pipes item things up to the controller in here, and it didn't work. You couldn't just export everything. The export thing that is in the mod, you have to choose what you're getting rid of. So what we're doing instead, and this is pretty clever, I think. Again, it's not my clever, it's somebody else's online. So online person. Thanks. What I've got going on now is we have this external storage attached to our personal EMC link with a high priority. Now what that means is the items that get put into the system are going to, for example, if we go into shaft here, right? We have nothing. We still have nothing because everything went into this. Likewise, the gearbox, for example, we have, what is it, vertical? So it doesn't have an EMC value, so it's going to stay here. Now, what we're going to do, this being the priority, we're going to use the disk manipulator, which some of you probably saw down here and was like, oh, that's clever, and got it immediately. But if we take this out and then we put it in here, all of the items that are in here are going to go in here unless they have an EMC value. You see, this is still 0, but the items are going down. So the only thing that's going to get transferred to this disk are the ones that do not have an EMC value. And it's going to be cool, although as you can tell, it's going pretty slow. So I may actually take this one out for now and make myself a stack upgrade and then put it back in, because that's going kind of slow. I think I found a hitch in the system that I didn't realize, and I'm glad I caught it early. If it's true, we're about to test it. I do not have quartz enriched iron currently in this, right? So this guy having the priority on it, if I put items into this, it's going to go into that system. But I just made some quartz enriched iron. If I put it in here, we don't have it here, and we don't have it here. It didn't actually add that here, which is very, very unfortunate. Very, 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 very unfortunate. All right, so I figured it out. It's basically, we use the refined one. The refined one, as you can see there, learns items from input slots, and I was worried. This one you can get items from and to and yada yada, but this one is, I guess, just an upgraded version, and it allows you to learn from them. And I did test it as well. I tested it with both the chest and here. If we go in, look, what is burned kelp called? Is it just kelp? It's dried kelp. Here we go. So dried, like I don't have any dried kelp, right? I think that has an EMC value. If we take, I think I have some of it as well. Yeah. So now if I have dried kelp here, again, this guy is storage, external storage. He has a high priority, so everything's going to go directly into him. And again, I have no dried kelp in here. But if I were to drop this back in now and then try to get dried kelp, it is there. So this does now work, and it does add any items I won't have, it'll add to the system, and that is very important to me. So we're good there. But what I need to do is now also, I did get the stack upgrade and speed upgrade. So this is going to go a bit faster. Still going to be slow though, just because, well, it is about 36,000 items. It's going to take a while, but we're going to let it go and it's going to do its thing. So I'm not quite sure why it did this. From what I understand, everything is supposed to go from here to here. And it stopped. But I am guessing that this means what I wanted to happen did happen. In that we have these 27 items, but these are all the ones that do not have an EMC value. There should... Oh yeah, there's a different reason that's there, and I'll show you that in a second. But everything else should not have any EMC values. So that's pretty much what we have in our system. And it's kind of cool just to see it all. It's a little interesting, I guess, just to kind of, I don't know, have every non-EMC thing right in front of you like this. But, you know. But anyway, if we go to our table, it should have literally everything in here. Everything that we had in our system should now be in this list. Now, what I want to do is actually continue this. Well, I guess I can't quite continue this. I guess I need to extract with a pipe. I can do it this way. And then... That's not what I wanted. Hopefully that didn't do anything. This is why we have the quartz-enriched iron here. Is because it's one of the features of this guy. If you have an external storage hooked up, it gives you access to whatever items you put here, and you can choose those items. Same deal with these, only there's a lot more of them. So we're probably going to have a decent collection of these guys connected to our network, and we're just going to place all the common items, like all the raw ore and just a whole bunch of stuff that we find as we go that we would like to have immediate access to without having to dig through the table to get. So we're probably going to have a bunch of these guys by the end of everything, which may seem counterproductive because we already had all this. But this is a single block with 54 slots, where 54 would take up a lot of room over here. So I think it's still better. Plus, I like Project D and I wanted to use it, so we're using it. Now, I do need to go ahead and make this extract. Because I believe that'll work. I don't know which one it is extracting, but you can kind of sort of see it going in for nuggets every time. So it is working. What I want to do, here's the ultimate upgrade. This is the one that will massively like pump items in here. It can't even go fast enough. I don't think it can. Is it just stopped? What is this? So it looks like it's not moving, but you can see this here. You barely see it, but the numbers up there, they are changing, which means it is actually extracting. It's just a whole lot of nuggets that it's extracting. It would obviously be a lot better if it did blocks, but for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like it's able to do that. It's always going to do the nuggets from these guys, which will take longer, but it's not like we have to sit here and babysit it. It will just kind of go on its own, and that's totally okay. So we're going to move on now that this is finally understood. This guy here is no longer necessary, so we can clean him up. And this guy needs to stay where he is, but, you know, yeah, we're fine. Everything's fine. Everything is wonderful. It's so random which ones it chooses to do. I sped some of these guys up because they had a lot in there. So I just took out the blocks myself and put them in the table to speed up the hundreds of thousands of nuggets that it wanted to import. But it's seemingly jumping around random. When it finishes one, it goes in a seemingly random place. I don't know where it is. Is it over there now? No, it's ender pearls. Oh, here it is. It's just I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. Doesn't really matter, but it's just kind of weird. It was about time to clear out the old and bring in the new. This guy right here, well, this very small guy here basically replaces everything we had before. Now, it does not include the machines, but all of my machines, except the latex processing unit and the crystallizer, I think is what it was, had an EMC value, so I can pull those out no problem. Now, the other thing I wanted to do is actually get rid of this. Thank you, Efficiency, for this setup, because I did not know it existed, and now I do. However, I think I'm in a good enough place to upgrade, and we're going to work on that, mainly because this is pretty complicated, and this guy keeps filling up, and I didn't really organize it very well, and it could be reworked, and we could have 6 of these guys being powered, and we could make it better. But we're going to go and get the Powah Reactor. Why? Because I am actually familiar with these now, because in one of my other series in Ocean Block, I have, well, right now I have 4 of them, but I'm going to end up having 400. No, I'm not exaggerating. Actually, I think it's over 400. But anyway, we're going to get at least one quickly so we can get this guy. And in order to do that, okay, I need to make sure I have the fuel. I need to make sure I have everything else that I need. Actually, I don't think I have ice. Do I have ice in here? The other thing, and the biggest thing we're going to need that we don't already have, because we have plenty of coal and redstone, is going to be the uraninite. Yeah. Now, the uraninite is more difficult to get here than anywhere else, because as you can tell, no EMC value. No EMC value on the raw. And the only way to get it is to crush crushed deep slate. And there's an 8% chance of this? Sure. 8%, 8%. I don't like those odds, okay? That's telling me it's probably not the best idea, except there is another option. Energizing. This is where you see the best of the best, because none of these guys actually have anything that we can do except this one. The uranium ingot with 30,000 Fe, which eventually will not be an issue, is going to give us a piece of uraninite. Okay, with the biggest and baddest reactor, this is like less than half of 1 tick of power. And this guy will last a decent length of it. It'll last several ticks, so it's definitely worth it. That said, I do need to set that up, which means automating this guy. And those of you who do watch the other series, we have an issue. We do not have integrated dynamics or whatever it's called. We don't have those pipes. No logic pipe thingamabobbers. I don't know what the equivalent is here, but I'm thinking I might be able... No, that's not what I need. I might be able to make it work with a crafter and a timer based on what I did in the other one, which I will show you here. I know I'm referencing another series and I apologize. It's just because I just did this literally earlier today in that series. So I'm trying to remember everything. And I think we can make it work for this. And I'll explain it in a little bit. If it works, I'll explain it. If it doesn't, then we might as well just move on. All right, I got it working. I believe this is a setup that will work long term, and I don't believe it'll break. Okay, let me explain it, because this is totally different than anything I've done before. But I will make it quick for those of you who don't care. Basically, we have this crafting emitter here, which is something that is added by another mod, RS Requestify. So it's like an add-on mod to Refined Storage. But since we do have that, what will happen is I have this uraninite in here in the filter. So anytime it's being crafted, meaning anytime it would show up in this list, this will come on, which will turn this torch off, which is feeding this guy. So right now it's paused while redstone is active. So what it's going to do is it's going to pause, basically permanently, until I go in here and say, you know what, I want some more uraninite. So let's go in there and make 64 of them and start, which will turn this guy on. Since it's now, active, it'll turn this guy off, which allows this timer of 60 ticks to go. It will basically go. And then this guy is set so that every redstone pulse inserts the next set. So we can just kind of go along with that and boom. And it will just continue. Now, it takes a while to kind of gain this, right? It takes a few seconds per uraninite in order to actually get converted and whatnot. So if we ever need to mass produce these, we're not really going to be doing all that great. However, the reactors actually go through this particular fuel very, very slowly. So we're not going to have to worry too much about that, at least not for a while. Now, as long as we have that, or since we have that, we can look into actually making this guy. We need to go further with all of this in order to actually get this thing. Now, the recipes are different than the other series. I actually said and mentioned in the other series that I really do believe they should use the previous tier to get the next tier. And they do in this one, which is good. And it's actually, I applaud that particular recipe, but it does mean we need to bear down and go all the way down here to get all of these things. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm actually going to add in another crafter. I'm going to do some more auto-crafting things. I'm going to get a crafter and kind of make it a lot easier to craft the reactor we're trying to get, since it is so nested down in here. It'll make it a lot easier if we can auto-craft at least most of these things. All right, be aware of a particular situation. I don't know the answer yet, but I wanted to demonstrate it while we're still demonstrating things. It's crafting these guys, which means this light should be on and this torch should be off, allowing it to work. The item is in here, like energized steel is that recipe, and it's not working. And I wanted to try something. If we go to uraninite and get one of these, do we have any energized steel? We don't. Of course we don't. Let me make a set real quick because I wanted to see if it's something to do with, like, I don't know, breaking, like if you break it and place it, if it'll work again, Do I have one of those? Okay. So if we do that now, and then we break it and place it again, and then re-add these guys, will it start again? It doesn't. Something about this crafting operation, it doesn't like it, and I don't know why. So it's got to be that specific item that you're crafting before this thing will actually work. So if we go here and say, 20 of them, start, it does work. It does actually do the job. But I think because it only works if it is the item you're crafting, not if the item in the filter is part of or a component of the bigger item, if that makes sense. I think that's what's going on. So it's really, really kind of boo. This guy keeps him off. So it'll only start after the first batch is already put in and has enough time to be converted. And then it'll trigger. I need that process. This is how you know we're making progress in the power department. It's actually going down a lot. Our guys down there can still keep up for now, at least. So I'm not worried, but it's going. We are making progress. Now let me show you what I'm talking about here. If I go to Nitro, I can make them. But there's one big step that I still have to solve before we can say it's actually auto-craftable. And that is these guys. All the other ones require like maybe 1 million. Like these emeralds here. Where's the other one? If we go these guys 1 million, okay? The big guys are 20 times that number. You get 16 of them, but 20 times. This guy's not a problem because he has an EMC value. These guys have EMC values. And this guy, I can already autocraft from earlier tiers of the same mod. You know, it basically runs the same way. It's just a block of these guys. So that's not a problem either. It's all about the energy. So what I've been doing is actually adding in the crafting recipes for the higher tier energizing rods and the higher tier cables. We are maxing out on power capability today. And it's going to be amazing if I can get there. Because we're going to have 9 of the Nitro energizing rods attached to, you know, I guess it'd be 9 of the Nitro cables. And these things are going to process really, really quick. And I'm hoping with that, we can get the 20 million in under 3 seconds. If we can do that, then I will be happy enough. I may have to increase it to 4 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, which I don't want to do because we do not need that much time for the earlier levels. But if we have to, I can live with it. And here we are. Now, I have all Nitro energy rods and the power cables, and I've already tested this, and it was actually under 3 seconds with just like 5 or 6 of these. So we're actually good on everything. So I should be able, if I go to Nitro, I should be able to go here and say, hey, I need what do I need? 36 of these, right? 36 shows that it can craft it. Start. And it should do everything. Now, I'm not going to sit here and watch it the whole time. We're going to let this go, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be okay. Holy crap, it's done. I was a little distracted doing something else that I'll show you here in just a second, but we have Reactor. So we can go ahead and set this guy up. Let me show you the other thing I did first. I realized that in order to do any kind of the end game stuff, I'm really going to have to start getting a lot of neutrons, and this is the only way to get it quickly. Let's be clear, it's still not quick. I could create a whole level of these. I could do a whole lot of these things, and you know what? You're right. I also have, actually, oh, wait a minute. Do I have, I think it's harder to get, what is it called? Crap, I forget. The bottle of time thing. Ooh, do we not have, maybe we don't have it here. It is possible we don't have it here. I don't know. I have it in Ocean Block, but yeah, I mean, I could try to speed one of those up. I don't know if it works on these guys, but I do know that these things are very, very slow, and we do need quite a bit of them. For this guy specifically, but also a lot of the other end game things. Like, we need a lot of Neutronium ingots. Looks like a lot, right? Looks like a whole lot. But guess what? We need a lot more. Like, a lot more. Holy crap, more, right? Because we need the infinity ingots, which means it's this, but times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 times this number plus this number. It's a lot of Neutronium. That's going to be our biggest hiccup, biggest bottleneck for that. So before we actually get to the point where we're ready to start crafting that thing, kind of already almost to that point, but we're going to have to wait. I'm going to do this. I may end up adding a bunch more to this. I may flood this entire side with these things because they do have an EMC value. I mean, they're literally, I could just get 64 of them just like that and be good to, you know what? Let's go do that because it is that easy. That is a whole lot of Neutronium collectors or neutron collectors. But you know what? It's still going to take a pretty long while to get all of them that we need. Did you see how many we needed? Let me just, all we get is one tiny pile per like 6 minutes. We need 9 of those tiny piles to make 1 nugget. And then we need 9 nuggets to make 1 ingot. That's 81 times 6. That's how many minutes it takes to get 1 ingot. Did I do that math right? Some math whiz out there, tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong, and feel free to do the math. I don't know if I did that right, but shh, I'm good at things. It's being built. It's done. So we have this guy here. I haven't done anything, obviously. I don't have anything in my system in order to fill it or anything like that, but we have everything we need. And I am going to go ahead. Let's see. I'm not sure how I want to do this. All right. Simple is always better, right? I just dragged a cable all the way from over there behind the wall and threw it in this guy. I don't even need speed upgrades because it goes through all of these so slowly that it's not a problem at all. Whoa. 100. That is a lot. 150,000? You must be able to change this in the configs, and that's what they did, I guess, because the other one only has 87,000, I think. It only generates 87,000. That is a lot. That's cool. I like it. That's fantastic. That's like everything we need forever, you know? So let me go ahead. I'm actually going to pop this guy off. You know what? No, we're not. I'm going to go ahead and switch it the proper way first. Do I have any plugs? I do not. And I think that's actually because plugs have an EMC value. I didn't actually look, but they think they do. They do indeed. So it's actually pretty easy to do that. And we're actually going to go over here for now. I'm going to plop it right over here behind a wall. We're going to set that, and then bam, we have lots and lots of energy. We don't have to worry about a thing. It's fantastic. That's crazy. I had no idea. I had no idea it could generate that much. Okay, cool. I'm glad. I'm very, very happy now. And because everything is auto-crafted, I don't have to worry about running out ever because I have those amounts, basically. I have them stashed in here. So the requester is a thing from that that same mod, RS Requestify, that we used the other item from. This one seems to be working okay. The other one didn't really do much when it comes to the autocraft or this stuff. I just have to really, really, really hope that the timing works out okay. And every once in a while, I'm going to have to check. Once it gets started, it's perfectly fine. It's only about the initial crafting that could ever pose a problem. And eventually I want to get that solved. But for now, I'm not going to worry about it too much. But anyway, so this requester, basically, it just keeps things in stock, is literally its entire point. So I have 64 and I have these 2 items. So it's going to try to keep these 2 items with 64 in here. And because I have them also on an export bus back here, it's going to fill these guys up. And then, oh, it's still doing dry ice. Okay. It'll fill these guys up and then it'll kind of back up into our system over here. So we're good. We're good. I can actually get rid of all this now. I don't need it anymore. Hey, we got a good thing. The gargantuan flux storage. I think that's the biggest one we have. So we're going to go ahead. I think this guy's still processing. So we're going to do this first. I feel like maybe we'll do, I think this is going to break something. Okay, it's set and now we're gaining. Is it good? I think we're good. Okay. I think these guys, like they have stored energy so they can use that. And we're pretty much, look how quickly it filled up 128 million. That guy's a beast. Look, we have energy in it. Oh no, whatever. Well, oh gosh, darn it. I accidentally clicked it into my EMC table and wasted so much energy. Oh, it was so accidental. Okay, I can't get the deep anything from that, huh? Deep slate. Boom. I'm just going to get one of these guys and go plug this hole over here because it's bugging me. Good to go. Now that I'm mostly set up with everything that I want, I'm going to have to clear this guy out. You'll see why in a minute. I actually want to change the design of the base just a smidge. You see, this circle that we're in, It's not quite big enough. That's really close to my face. You're welcome. So, yeah, this circle's not big enough. We have unlimited room. Why is it so small? We're going to make it bigger. And then we're going to make our levels that we were just talking about. I just have to make the levels strategically, because if I don't, then these things will get broken, and I don't really want them broken. So this is the size we're going with. It's coming right up against our little friends over here, and that's kind of by design. I made sure everything was tucked pretty far back. That's about as far back as I wanted to go initially. Part of me also almost wants to go a little further, but I think we're going to do this. We're going to see how we like it, and if we have to, we will move these guys to make it even bigger. But I wanted to see what this looked like first. So I'm hoping I've got this right. If not, oh well. And I'm hoping this actually works. It should work. I don't see why not, but you know. Oh, yeah, looks like it's working. Here it comes. It's going. And it's starting over. That's kind of how the builder works. You guys probably knew that, huh? The arrows came with it. Nice. We're up to 12 ingots already. Also, the hole is done, and it's bigger, and I like it more. I like it a lot more, actually. We're going to start designing things. Obviously not this episode, but we're going to do some pretty cool stuff. I have plans for the next episode, and we're going to do some decorating now that I'm pretty well set up. I can get whatever I want. I can autocraft whatever I want. See, this one messed up here. Oops. It happens. I'm going to have to fix that for sure. For sure. I mean, it goes quick. It just messes up on occasion. And basically what that's doing is that is the uraninite. It's making sure we have the 64 in here. And we don't. So, you know, it's now doing the thing again. But that's because this guy is doing everything it needs to in order to keep power going. So we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. But anyway, so yeah, I have plans. All right. I've got plans for the next episode, and I can't really wait. I can kind of wait because I kind of have to, but I can't really wait. Okay. But that is all the time we have for this one. So if you liked it, please do hit the like button and subscribe to see more. Thank you for watching. Bye.